Happy Monday, folks, and welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where every single Monday right here on the show, I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. Today we're talking about another episode of Takeover 3 featuring Team ECK, Edge, Christian, and Kurt Angle that aired on the WWE Network, I believe at this point 2 weeks ago. So really not too much to note here, not really as much as the Common Bonds episode. This was just simply called Team ECK. The Common Bonds episode with AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash, which I talked about here on the show a week ago, check it out, cheap plug, was kind of newsworthy in that they talked quite a bit about Shawn Michaels' new gig at the Performance Center in NXT in Florida, and they talked about the makings of what was supposed to be a dream match between Shawn Michaels and AJ Styles. This one really isn't as newsworthy. I don't have as many notes here as I usually do and kind of doing a play-by-play in terms of what they talk about. They really just kind of share stories, joke around, but it's a good time nevertheless. There has never really been a bad episode of Table for Three. All of them have different certain stories to offer, certain things to offer, and I thought this was a good episode overall. So let's get started here. They kick off joking about how Edge and Christian were not the ones to induct Kurt Angle into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm not sure if they were even on the list, according to Kurt Angle. I know he had Brock Lesnar on there, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm sure Edge and Christian were not too high up on the list. I mean, they did have some history for those few years in the early 2000s, so it's not like, they played as big of a part in his career as John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Stone Cold Steve Austin did. But still, they had amazing chemistry as Team ECK, in those late Attitude Era days. Christian tells this great story. He tells this great story about Rhino picking up Matt Bloom when they were riding together before he picked up, or Rhino picking up Matt Bloom, a.k.a. Tensai, a.k.a. Laura Tensai, a.k.a., fucking Albert, Prince Albert, Jason Albert, whatever. He picks up Matt Bloom before picking up Christian, and I think Kurt Angle is a part of that as well, and he was kind of pissed off about that. They share a story about a diner in Chicago that they all kind of eat there, I guess. They all have history at this one diner in Chicago. Edge talks about riding with Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle during their SmackDown days in 2003. All three of them discuss taking their first bumps, getting into wrestling. Angle recalls his first days in the WWE. Now, his first official WWE match, apparently, which I did not know, was with Christian, not on TV, obviously. Angle's first match with the company on TV was at Survivor Series 99, I think against Shawn Stasiak. So maybe as a dark match or something, or as a tryout. It was with Christian, so I had no idea about that, which was pretty cool to listen to them talk about that. Edge praises the matches they had with Kurt Angle and discusses their skits in 2002 and whatnot. That's where the whole "You Suck" chant began, and they'll talk about that momentarily as well. But yeah, Edge and Angle had some great matches in 2002 that Edge even admits in this episode really elevated Edge to that upper mid-card main event status. Maybe not main event quite yet. He wasn't really a bona fide main eventer until like 05, 06. This was still 02. But those matches with Kurt Angle, as Edge said, after he won King of the Ring, after the matches with, after the feud with Christian ran its course in late 01, Edge really was not doing much. He was feuding with random people, fucking Booker T at WrestleMania with fucking shampoo and all this other shit. But it wasn't until that feud with Kurt Angle in early 02 that really solidified Edge as a star on the rise. So I could not agree more with the statements that he made about Edge, or rather Kurt Angle, on this episode. Kurt Angle talks about having 5 kids. I think Christian might have 1 child, maybe 2. But he talked about, not only on this episode, but he talked about on Cole Cabana's podcast that I listened to a few weeks back about having kids after he retired, which was pretty smart, he admitted. And I think Edge has 2 kids as well, I think both of which, or at least one of them, was at the WWE Hall of Fame when Beth Phoenix, his wife, got inducted last month. But yeah, Kurt Angle talks about having 5 kids, how hard it was when he was on the road at WWE, but now he can be home with them all the time. Christian, like I talked about, having kids after he retired, didn't want to miss moments and stuff, which again is very wise of him to do. They talk about the creation of the "You Suck" chant from 02, which has really took on a life of its own. The one chant I'm glad has stood the test of time, unlike the fucking "What" chant, which also came about around that time as well, which was just absolutely atrocious. The "You Suck" chant is in good nature. Even as a babyface, he still gets it now, and it's just a lot of fun to chant, I guess, even if it's at the person he's in the ring with or whatever. They talk about working with each other. Angle was quoted in saying, in regards to working with Edge and Christian back in 2001, whatever, 02. I think it was specifically 2001. he said, I couldn't wait to show up to work. And can you blame the guy? I mean, look at the stuff that he was doing with Edge and Christian. It was just so much fun. So it's hard to blame him. And they play Kurt Angle's theme song on kazoos to close out the episode, which was pretty fun, too. And Kurt Angle, you could just tell he's having a blast. He's so happy to be back in WWE. I'm so happy he's back in WWE. And Edge and Christian have just their great chemistry as well. So I enjoyed this episode. Again, not the most newsworthy episode. A lot of this I already knew, or some small stuff I did not know. So it was a very fun, lighthearted episode. These Table for 3 shows are about like 20 minutes, 15 minutes at the very least, 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops. But they're all very good, so check it out on the WWE Network, again, called Team ECK, Kurt Angle, Edge, and Christian. Table for 3 from 2 weeks ago. I know I'm a bit backtracked here, or a bit behind with the Stone Cold podcast from last week that I reviewed with Dean Ambrose, because I know tonight they're airing the Finn Balor WWE 24 special, but next week I'll be talking about we'll see what I review first, but I'll probably be talking about the Bring It to the Table show that aired last week on the network. So again, I've watched that, I've reviewed that, or I've written down notes and shit. So I'll probably record a review for that, put it up next Monday. We'll see. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work out right now, but the Finn Balor 24 special that's airing tonight on the network after Raw should be fucking awesome. So I look forward to watching that. Hopefully you guys will check it out as well. Hopefully you enjoyed it as well. That being said, thank you guys as always for checking out WWE Network and Chill. Your support is amazingly appreciated. You can like the video, drop a comment, share the video. Above all else, subscribe to the channel. We are quickly approaching 1,200 subscribers. That means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for that amazing support. That being said, have a great Monday. Enjoy Raw tonight. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.